Hello, hello, and welcome to another Monday live card reading. So I'm going to just talk about a few things that are happening tomorrow. We've got the solstice. So here in the northern hemisphere, it's the summer solstice for any of you down below, down under anywhere. It's going to be the winter solstice. So there's a lot of energy coming up with this. So I'm going to talk a tiny bit about that and some transits that are happening. Plus, we've got the new moon, a really important new moon. I won't talk so much about the new moon because there's so much there to say, but just what to do to get prepared for that in about a week's time. It'll be actually on Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, and I will be on holiday, so I am going to do something, some sort of a meditation, but I'm going to make it available in some form, possibly as an audio. So I'll talk to you more about that at the end of this week, maybe on Friday, when I decide what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to keep this as brief as I can. The sun is shining in Ireland very consistently today, so I'm getting outside after this. I'm going to spend a couple of hours outdoors before the shadows and the clouds come, which does tend to happen. Okay, so what have we got? So the solstices and equinoxes. So we've got a solstice or an equinox basically every 3 months, and the energy from that brings us up to the next one. So this, we've got the solstice happening tomorrow, and that is very much so in old times they would have had ceremonies because they were aware that there's a sort of an opening of the veil. We are able to communicate much more with our highest self. There is, it's a time of heightened intuition and inspiration and all of that. So there's a lot of happening in the stars also, which actually emphasizes it all, because we've got the moon conjunct Jupiter in Aries at the same time. So conjunct, if Jupiter means, so that moon energy is very much about our emotions, and Jupiter expands everything. So it's very big, it's very expansive, and we can sort of, it's sort of going to really enliven this. Plus, because they are in Aries, the moon and Jupiter in Aries at the very first few degrees of Aries, it will bring a sort of a sense of wanting to start something new. I'm already getting that feeling already, and I have been for about the past week, really feeling that something new is kind of, I'm just getting some notes up here, it is bubbling up, and I'm getting a lot of inspiration and ideas, and I know I'm going to spend some quiet time tomorrow really working on the details, working out what that's going to be, because I could really feel something big coming in. So you watch out for that. That energy as well with Mars, because Mars is still in Aries, and Mars is the ruler of Aries. So that is going to bring a lot of courage and will really make you want to initiate those new changes, start new projects or new episodes in your life. And Mars brings that energy of sort of courage and passion and bravery and really wanting to be daring and putting yourself out there. But as we are not, I would suggest start looking at and planning and looking at what you want to make new, because in a week's time, then we're going to have the new moon, and that is the best time to really start something. So if you're going to physically start something, wait if you can until the new moon. But now is a brilliant time to get clear on what it is you want to create. Plus, because the moon is waning, we've got that feeling that we want to release more, letting go. So when you're creating something new, something old must go. What do you need to change in you, in your life, in whatever it is that you do, in order to move into that change? Now, the sun, the moon and Jupiter are going to be squaring the sun for the solstice. Now, squares really make you want to take action. It's sort of like that kick in the ass, really, to do something different. So you may get a sense that you want to surge forward with whatever it is that you want to start. Yet it's in Cancer, and Cancer, wants you to be safe and nurtured and wants you to be kind of secure in whatever it is you do. So ask yourself the questions. what is it I want to do? And do I feel safe? Is there anything in there that I don't feel safe or comfortable with? And that might be something that you would want to work on releasing as we come up to the new moon. Um, and then also remember as well that wherever it is that, that feeling of safety, that comes from inside of us. That doesn't come from outside factors. It's us, our mindset, our feelings of safety are not come from our own mind. And mostly, and this is what I help people with most of the time, is when we don't feel safe with doing something new. For instance, I have a lot of clients that come to me for visibility fears, afraid of doing something like this, making live videos, being laughed at, speaking on stage, turning up, being consistent. And that only always comes from a mindset issue, something that happened in the past that made that, which we can clean and heal and let go of. So there's a great energy or ability at this time to be able to let go. There's a very positive sextile actually tomorrow as well between Jupiter and Mercury. So that's going to make you want to think big, go bigger, go bolder, do something that you maybe haven't felt safe or secure doing before. There's a sort of urge to come bigger and do something much, much braver. But maybe there's a mindset issue that's sort of pulling you back. So just watch out for that and do reach out if you need help with that. So then, oh yes, Mars, I mentioned, is out of bounds. So I'm not an astrologer, but this is what I've been picking up from other astrologers, but it's outside of a 23-degree elliptical orbit. But it brings that sense of being out of bounds as well, being out of control almost. So watch for the Mars energy. Can be action taking and positive and assertive, but it can also be a bit aggressive or a bit, you know, kind of overreacting kind of. So watch for that. And there is one of these Kuiper belt objects, Eris, I think is conjunct or very close to Mars. And Eris is considered the sister of Mars, who wants to stand up for justice, doesn't like to see injustice anywhere, and wants to stand up for sort of the underdog, wants everything to be even and wants everybody to be heard. So just look at that. Where is it making you want to take a stand, to be independent? Very important to stand in your sovereignty. And I've been battling on and talking on about that for the past year or two. But our sovereignty, we are sovereign beings. We are created by the divine. We have a right to be here. We came here to do something maybe magnificent, or maybe it's just creating something beautiful in your corner of the world. But tuning into your heart to know what are you here for, and allowing yourself to open up like a flower right now, because we are in those last few degrees. Pluto is in those last few degrees of Capricorn. Capricorn, top down systems, structures, big things. Sort of big hierarchical sort of old structures, and they are crumbling right now. There's also Uranus. Okay, so Uranus is getting very close to the North Node, and the North Node is our future, where we're heading towards. And Uranus moving into the North Node means that um, Uranus Uranus can have very unstable energy. It really wants to, it can be very, on the positive side, it is about awakening, opening up to your higher mind, intuition, inspiration. It can have a very sudden, eruptive, changeable energy, can be really enlightening on a positive side. But on a shadow side, it can also, if you don't deal with your stuff or your issues or your insecurities, the shadow side of that can kind of bring sort of almost, you know, psychotic sort of episodes, or destabilizing. So watch where your thinking is. Look at where you're going off in thinking, and be very careful about where you're spending your time. What are you viewing? And always bring yourself back to your highest self. Bring yourself back to knowing we are created by the divine and we have the power. We have the power to create anything in our lives. But we can also, if we don't look at opening up our intuition and to our highest self, we can end up creating from a negative vibration. So it's always look at how you're feeling, notice how you're feeling, deal with your feelings. You might have to sit with those feelings, but always look for a higher thought, a higher vibrational feeling. And I love curiosity, because if you are in a negative emotion, sometimes it can be really hard to jump to a positive one. But if you can just be curious about why you're there, curious about what you've been thinking, curious about a slightly better feeling thought, it starts to shift that energy and you start to move upwards. But we do need to take responsibility for our thoughts. So that's the first law in the universal law, is the law of thinking. What have you been thinking? Where are you putting your attention? And noticing that the thoughts create the feelings and the emotions. We can change a thought, okay? And it's always really good to start to look at what can you be grateful for. Sometimes it can be a slog if you're in a really dark place to think of something to be grateful for. But if you just think of one thing, and it might be some days just your cozy warm bed to relax in, as you or it might be the fact that maybe you can walk, and maybe you've got hands that you can do things with, or maybe just look at something to be positive and be grateful for that thing, and it'll open up an awareness, because our thoughts then loop onto the next high vibrational thought, and you'll start to notice a lot more to be grateful for, which brings you into a higher space. Now, I'm going to read some cards. I've already picked some before I came on because I was a little early, so I shuffled here. And what I got, so I've chosen, I mix my Ascended Masters and my Goddess cards together, and these three jumped out. So the first one is nurture yourself, and that is really important right now. Nurture yourself, be loving to you. Watch the thoughts you're thinking, but be kind. Mostly the kindness has to start with ourselves. We can only give to others when we have been kind and loving to ourselves. And when we are loving to ourselves, we attract people that are loving towards us. We attract a loving situation. We attract people, or the people around us start to treat us the way we're treating ourselves. So look out for that. Really be careful about nurturing yourself. Getting outside into nature. I can't say that enough at the moment. We're going through a really big upgrade of solar energy, and it is coming through, and we're feeling exhausted by a difficult past 2.5 years. But there's also this really, brilliant and high vibrational energy coming in. Get outside, put your feet on the ground yourself. Especially, I heard yesterday in a group that I'm in, if you can get your feet on grass, and especially if you can wet that grass, if the grass is wet when you're standing on it, it is so grounding. If not, be somewhere, where that you can be part of nature. Follow your heart. Follow your heart. So if there's something coming up for I was talking previous to this about the transits and everything, and you're looking to create something big, listen to what your heart is telling you. What do you really, truly want to do? Today I truly, really just want to get outside. I want to put my feet in the grass. I may go to the beach and put my feet in the ocean. Um, I might even put my whole body in the ocean. But what is your heart telling you? What are you not listening to? Because we need to tune into that. Really, this is moving on from nurturing yourself. Listen to your heart and just be curious about what you want right now. You don't have to know. A lot of people don't know exactly what they want. Just be curious about what you want and listen to what your heart is trying to tell you. And the next card came out was very appropriate. In fact, I shuffled this twice because I thought this isn't time to start, but actually It is this energy from tomorrow, because the same card jumped out a second time, and it was the right card. It's a perfect time to start something new, and that energy tomorrow with the Jupiter in Aries, and it's there now. Jupiter's, um, I think it is there. It's very close if it isn't. I think it's in the first few degrees of Aries. And the moon will be in there, but it's giving you that sense of, is it the moon? Yeah. It's going to give you a sense that you want to start something new. And it's going to give you that feeling of that new idea, new projects. This is what this is about. For this week, I would reckon look at it, be curious about it, journal on it, write it, take notes, take photographs of things that you like. If you have time on your hand and you're trawling through the internet, Google, or do a search. I don't use Google. I keep using that word though, but do a search on the words that are the things that you're looking for, and look at some pictures, take screenshots, give yourself a feast of things that you're interested in doing. You may already have a big idea. This week, get clear on what that idea is going to be before the new moon, because the new moon is the best time to take action and really start. But what we can do with this whole week coming up to the new moon is get clear about it. We can birth new projects, new conditions, new episodes in our life, but we need to get really clear. Clarity is the first step. I teach this 5-step law, or easy way of thinking and learning and knowing about the law of attraction. The first step is knowing and getting clear on the details. What will it look like? Clarity, clarity, clarity. To give birth to new situations and new conditions, you need to be clear. First of all, you might start with what you want to let go of. Then you will know to get clear on what you do want. How am I for time? Okay, I've got more cards because I've also picked some cards with the I have Angel Tarot, so they're from tarot, but they have a gentler way of reading it. It's easier for me to read these because I'm only beginning to read tarot. The first card, which is past, and it is the 6 of water. So water, again, is our emotions. And the water signs, this water sign is telling you, you might be remembering things. It might be bringing up thoughts or ideas. You might be having dreams. You might be having memories from the past. And if things are coming up to you and you're remembering stuff, they're little signals, they're little nuggets of information for you to, it may be something that needs to be healed. Something might be coming to the surface that needs to be healed. And this is a brilliant time to do this while the moon is waning and getting smaller. But we're all moving into this time where we're all getting more intuitive, all getting more inspiration. You may be noticing that you're having quite vivid dreams, or you're remembering your dreams. Remember those dreams, write down those dreams, and start to look at them, because they're sending you a message. Now, you might be romanticizing also about the past, so don't get stuck in romanticizing about the past. Look at the meanings, and knowing we are moving forward all the time. Sometimes as well, when you're looking back and you get those memories from the past, this has happened to me a lot in the last couple of years, even new people that I am seeing and meeting, I feel they are so familiar. So many times I've said to people, I know you from somewhere, and we've gone through everything, and we haven't met in this life. But I am spiritual, and I believe that I've either met these people in a past life, or are they people that I know from the future? Because we're in time on this dimension, on this 3D Earth. We look at time as linear, but outside of this space, time is not linear. Things happening at almost all at the same time. There are so many different timelines that are playing out simultaneously, and we need to go to a higher timeline. So just look at that. If there are something coming up and you're seeing people and they're familiar, just be curious. For now, just be curious. Now, this card comes up. This is the Hierophant actually in the tarot deck. So it's here they're talking about unity, but it's really look that the Hierophant and this card symbolizes old structures, kind of traditional ways of looking at things, traditional religions, for instance, traditional medicine, traditional ways that we have been using and taught to do structures. They can be top-down structures, and we're a lot of this is crumbling. A lot of this, so this card is really, I think, pointing out to let you be open to or be aware, is there something that you need to let go of that's crumbling? New paradigms. What are you holding on to? What old structures are you holding on to out of safety? That maybe it's time to move on and go to a higher dimension, a higher plane, a higher way of living. It might also mean that you need to look out and kind of look for mentors or mentors or coaches that are um, of like-minded, that you might be able to open up and to move and help to move to a different or a higher level of mind, or looking to start groups or be in groups with like-minded people. um, I just love the drawings in this actually, or the colors. um, but there is a sense that we need now to get back to seeing people, to being with people that are of like-minded, that, connection. Because this card then is, the outcome of this is the Queen of Fire. The Queen of Fire. So the fire cards are about our passion, our purpose, our what ignites us, what lights you up. And the Queen of Fire is warm and confident and friendly and graceful, intelligent, but in a sort of a passionate way. Does this signify you? Does this signify who you are becoming, or is this something about somebody else in your life? But the meaning in this card is telling us that it's time to stretch our wings, time now to do something bigger, to grow spiritually, emotionally. Allow yourself to have something more, something different, something better in your life, and don't underestimate your abilities. Get help if you feel that you need to, um if you need mindset work, if you need growth work, if you need spiritual work, get help to move to another level. But don't underestimate yourself and your own abilities, and be that independent. We're all creative. Where is your creativity? What is it leading towards? The card in the middle is a little warning sign, not to be expecting the worst. um, not to be expecting the worst. Self-fulfilling prophecies or sleepless nights. You might be stuck in worrying about things. By being there, you're manifesting more. So we need to release that, let go of where we're stuck, and actually, um, no, it's only an illusion. Everything is an illusion. It's our mind. What are we thinking? What are we feeling? Imagine that you're blindfolded, or that you can't see, and that you can just open up that blindfold and look for something more positive. And you can do this. Basically, it's telling you can do this. And then the future is celebration, and it may be a celebration. It may be something big that's happening in your life, wherever you are who's watching this. It might be asking you also to have a celebration, to have more fun, to do something different, to take a trip, a vacation, a holiday, take a day off, or meet some friends, have a party, throw a party for no reason except for meeting other people, having that sort of celebration. And it's kind of, we've been stuck in a darker place, and we've been in this tumultuous, difficult time. But don't be left stuck behind there. Know that we can put our head up and surface. If you're underwater like this dolphin, all you need to do actually is to put your head up, and your body will automatically go up. So that's what I feel it's telling us. Put your head up and look up. What is it that you want to move towards? And then there are two cards here for um which are would be kind of like just advice, and we've got the King of Fire. So we had the Queen of Fire with the King of Fire. So motivational, idealistic, ambitious, and charismatic is the energy that comes with that card. Is that you? Is that what you want to be, or is that somebody in your life? The stressing here is to focus, focus, focus. Put your attention, in other words, to what it is you want. Keep your attention on what you want. Take your attention away from all of the stuff that's happening around and focus, focus, focus. Have a bigger vision and really look at that vision. And this week before the new moon, allow that vision to get bigger and bigger. Um, it might be telling you that you're a leader as well, and be the leader. Be the leader in your own life. Be that leading lady or man in your own life. Imagine this is just, a movie, and you are the main character. Be that character. Be what is it that you want to be. Um, it can also represent getting advice from somebody creative, somebody who knows more than you are right now, a mentor or leader, something. And the last card is the Knight of Water. So this is about, um, this is falling in love. Might be a wedding proposal. It might be something new or another area of your life. If there's somebody in your life, it can be reaching a new level. But that the message that I'm getting from it is, because we need to balance with this card as well, is when you balance your own emotions about yourself, your feelings about yourself and your life, you attract the right people. So if you're in a relationship, your relationships improve when you work on your own self. If you're not in a relationship, you attract the right relationships by working on your own stuff. But it's also kind of like, as an end card, it might mean that there's a wedding or an invitation or a big event that is coming, and just be open to it. Okay, I'm going to put links. I've very little one-to-ones right now, because, and I'm going on holidays for part of next week. So I have very little, but I'm going to post the link for if anybody does want a reading, and I will be taking it. I'm not even sure what's left in my diary, but I will post the link if anybody is interested in doing that. I put it in last Fridays, and I have spaces that have filled up, so I'm not even sure what's there. So I will love you all. If I can't read individually for you, just go back, listen to this, and tune into what is needing to be said. I'll be live again on Friday with some cards for the weekend, plus with some insights on what the new moon is going to be more about, some of the transits, and I'll be talking about a meditation that I'm going to provide for that and how to get it. Okay. Hi, Joni. Lovely to see you. Because I can't. AV, I think. Anyway, lovely to see you. I'm going to have to run. Go back and listen if you're only tuning in now. And I will talk to you soon. Lots of love.